Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 38 of Direwolf20's FTB Revelations Let's Play series. Today I think I'd like to play with nuclear craft a little bit, right? Basically we've got a pretty decent power gen system going on downstairs, right? Like, not terrible. Not even a little bit terrible. It's actually really nice. That said though, I would love to have more power available, because as we turn on our quarry out here, you'll notice that rapidly we start losing power, right? In hefty amounts. So I'd like to do something about that, if I may. I'd like to play with nuclear craft. It's a mod that I've played with only once or twice on YouTube. I played with it once or twice on Twitch as well. And last time I played with it was in Enigmatica 2 series, I think, on YouTube. Maybe I played with it a little bit in a different series too, didn't I? I don't know, it's been a while. Yeah, I played with it in, Omnifactory. Yeah, that's the last time I played with it. Yeah, so I definitely want to check it out a little bit more. In Omnifactory, we went through, like, all the different fuels, and I definitely want to check it out again and go through and generate power with some, uranium and stuff. So what do we got by way of uranium and stuff? We've got some uranium from nuclear craft, and we've got some uranium from industrial craft too. So that's cool. I think we're going to be pretty good with that. So the first thing we need to do is probably start automating some of our reactor stuff, right? So we've got some nuclear craft machines over here, but we're probably going to want to do automation with these guys, right? So what I'm going to do is move them into the basement area where I've got automation ready to roll. Now with that said, I think I should prepare over here. So we've got that going, right? Yeah. That's cool. So I'm thinking we should prepare this, right? Because we've got 8 channels in use over here. I'd like to continue it along this line right here, if I may. I might wind up smidging this over just a little bit, or just moving it somewhere else entirely. Mostly just because I want to continue along this line, this wall here, right? Because we could do easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually perfect to have 2 sets of 8 machines. Would be nice right there. So that might be the approach I take. So we might wind up moving the Empower setup that I've got. But before that, I'd also like to consider getting some P2P stuff going on, right? So let's prepare with some of that. We'll just prepare a few P2Ps, right? And where did I put my memory card? There it is. Nice. Sweet. And there's your P2Ps. And let's get some cabling and some smart cabling all ready to go. And we're probably going to want some quartz fibers. And some dense cables. So that sound like a plan? Point-to-point networking, ready to rock. Nice. So first things first, right? We know that with applied energistics, there's the whole channel system, right? And standard cables can channel 8 channels at a time. And each machine from applied energistics that has some kind of data transmission, right? Not things that just transmit power, but data as well, like interfaces. Pretty much most things in applied energistics use data. A handful don't, but most do. Use up a channel, right? So the cool thing about P2P tunnels is you can transfer over a single channel a bunch of data using P2P channels. And I'll show you how this works, right? So what I'm going to do is remove this connection here for a minute. Okay, and what we're going to do is set this up such that we have a P2P tunnel coming in here. Boom. And we're going to run a simple tunnel over to here. And then we're going to output this P2P. And I think we can do it in a relatively cool way. I'm going to try it a little different than I normally do. Usually I connect it up to another dense cable, but I'm thinking we're going to try this. Right, can I do this? And then what I'm going to have is another P2P here where a cable comes out, and we'll have an anchor. And then we can run cables this way. Does that sound cool? I think that sounds cool. Right? Doesn't that sound cool? Sure, why not? Does that sound... I think that sounds like a neat idea. Let's try it and see if it works, right? So to make this work, first off, what we need to do is get power into this line. So this line, this cable's not connected to anything, if you really think about it, right? It's got the P2Ps on the ends, but it's in no way connected to our main system. So to connect it up to power, what we're going to want to do is have a quartz fiber. And what that does is it only transmits power, not not data. So when we connect up this cable here, it powers the line, but it doesn't connect to the channels here. So you can see how there's 0 channels in use. It's not using any data on this line, and it's only transmitting power into this channel. Cool, right? And then we can use our memory card, new dice configuration created and copied to card. So he's currently unlinked, and we're going to link him right over there. And we can see now that we've got those 8 channels coming in. How cool is that? And this thing should flip over and be 8 channels in use. Beautiful. And then we also link this, and now he's online, and he's also a linked output side. And we can see on the tooltip up there, 934F. That's the channel that it's linked to. So this is the input side, and there's 2 outputs, channel 934F. And these are the output sides, 934F. Pretty spiffy. So now the other thing I want to do is break this and this, actually. And the reason I want to break this is I want to have the interfaces next to each other. So I can do that by turning the ME interface, instead of a block form, into this form, right? And then we can have our cabling here. Let's see. I definitely want you connected there. I just have to hit it just right. Can you not? Why? Oh, because that's dense. Hold on. There you go. That's cool. That's pretty cool. You know what I could probably do? I could probably remove this and this. Bear with me a minute here. And this. And we could have smart cabling here. No, wait. I want you to connect up like that, and then smart cable. And then load out of here. Doesn't that look a little bit cooler? So now we have 8 channels on this side, right? And he's feeding into that. Yeah, I like that a little bit. I think that looks cool. And then you, sir, we'll put our anchor here so that you can go up there and have an interface there to hook into machines. Cool. And that should allow us to have, basically we'll have a channel coming in here now, so that's 1 channel, and 8 channels all funneling through into the P2P network, and that combines into the 9 and goes into there. So mainly what P2P does is it saves you on the dense cabling, but it's also kind of fun to hook up, right? And there's other kinds of P2P networks you can set up by the by. You can have redstone connectors, you can have items and EU and fluids and forge energy. So if you wanted to, you could P2P up your forge energy and make it so that RF is flowing through the AE system. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, right? So that's what we got going on here. So I think that looks pretty good to me. So with that set up ready to roll, let's get up here and start programming some of the things that we'll need for nuclear craft, right? So there's a bunch of machines we're going to need from nuclear craft. Some of them we already have made. I don't know, honestly, if we have any more that we're going to need. What I'm going to do, though, is I want to clear out any fluids that we don't really need anymore, because we're going to be using this mainly for making our nuclear craft machines, right? So let's program some of the stuff that we're going to need a lot of in nuclear craft so we can be auto-crafting all the things, right? So for nuclear craft, there's 2 types of power generation. There's fission reactors. Well, there's technically 3. There's fission reactors, there's salt reactors, which I've never played with, and I might try out this series, we'll see, and fusion reactors, right? Fission breaks down nuclear material. Fusion combines hydrogen with hydrogen or other types of elements, and generates large amounts of power. And salt reactors, I've literally never played with. And I even did a spotlight on nuclear craft and covered fission and fusion and never got around to the salt reactor spotlight, which I should do, honestly. But time and such has gotten away from me. So we'll figure it out, right? Maybe we'll try out salt reactors at some point. But I want to start with fission reactors. And then we'll go from there and figure out salt, maybe. And we should definitely do fusion at some point, too, because that's really powerful. Now, the downside with fission is it does create radiation. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. And we'll see how that plays out for us. And that's why I'm building this so far away from my main base, so that if I do irradiate an area in a terrible and awful way, well, you know, at least we'll be far away from our base, right? So I'd like some reactor casings, right? So I'm going to teach you how to make these guys. So real quick, I'm just going to combine a bunch of recipes here. Yeah, that all looks good. I like the sound of this. So we want casings, right? And casings are going to form the outside edge of our reactor. So we're going to have casings on the outside. Inside the reactor, there's a few types of blocks that we're going to need. We're going to need fuel cells to hold our fuel. So that would be fuel cell. I thought it's called fuel cell. There it is, reactor cell, reactor cell. Okay, that's going to hold our energy, right? So that's going to, it's a multi-block structure, and that's going to make up part of the multi-block. And what I'm going to do is program all these crafts for us so we can get ready to use them, and then I'll show you how it all works out together. There's also graphite moderators. All right, we're going to learn how to make graphite blocks. That seems cool. We also figure out how to make graphite ingots, but we'll figure out what we don't know how to craft yet pretty quickly, right? So there's graphite, there's fuel cells, there's the external casings, and then included in there as well is there's a bunch of different types of coolers, right? So there's some passive coolers and active coolers, we'll see. So these are your passive coolers for the most part, and then each of them has different rules. And this is the part of nuclear craft that I think is really cool, is that each cooler has a different set of rules on how it can work and whether or not it's going to work in the multi-block structure. So for example, right, the water cooler, right, it gives you a cooling rate of 60 heat per tick, and it has to be adjacent to one reactor cell or an active moderator block. So when you build the multi-block, the water cooler has to be next to either a reactor cell or a graphite block. Otherwise, it won't cool down the reactor. And I think that's cool because it kind of makes it like a fun mini game to build a neat reactor. Because as you run your nuclear fuel, it generates heat. And if it overheats, bad things happen. You don't want that to happen, trust me. So you want to keep your reactor cool. So basically the game is you want to generate as much power as you can by burning the right kinds of fuel, but you don't want to generate too much heat, because if you generate too much heat, the reactor will melt down. So you want to keep it cool with coolers. And we'll see how that works as we go throughout this episode and the next one or two. So that's the gist, right? So for the build that I'm planning to do, there's a handful of coolers that we're going to want. I'm planning to do one that does cryothium, right? Now you can take 2,000 gel of cryothium and just do this. I'm just going to do that, so that should be cool. I'm also going to need glowstone coolers. And I'm going to need magnesium coolers. We're going to have to figure out if we have magnesium, because I don't even know. Do we have magnesium coolers? Where are you at, magnesium? Iron, copper, tin, magnesium. There you are. Cool. So magnesium coolers are going to play a role here. Copper coolers are going to play a role here. And each one of these, like I said, has different rules about how it can run. Helium coolers, that's actually a question. I don't know if I have helium yet. We're going to have to figure out how helium... I guess liquid helium cooler, right? Yeah, I think we can figure out how to get some helium. And redstone cooler. So those are all the different kinds of coolers that we're going to need to make for the build that we have planned here. So I've got a basic small reactor to start with, and then we'll go bigger. Because it's a multi-block, it can get pretty big. I'm going to start with a very basic 3x3x3 reactor. But it can get a little bit bigger, right? So if we now look at nuclear craft, we should see we have a lot of things we can make, right? So in terms of casings, I need 54 of these. Right, so let's figure out, we're missing basic plating. Okay, so we got to teach you how to make basic plating. Okay, so that would be you. And I don't think you know how to make graphite yet, do you? I know I've made some by hand, but I don't think you know how to make it. So let's get a pulverizer recipe of graphite bar. Okay, and graphite ingots themselves come from smelting either coal or charcoal. Let's go with coal. I think I have a really large amount of coal, don't I? Yeah, 11,000. Yeah, that's fine. We should be good, right? So let's get you into our smelter operation and our pulverizer. So you get pulverized, you get smelted into our redstone furnace. And that makes me think I'm probably going to want a few of these kits. Cool, just to speed things up. Excellent. All right. So with those things programmed up and ready to roll, all right, and you need basic plating goes in here. Let's see how those kits are coming along. Good. Signalum upgrade kits and all the good things. Let's speed things up real quick. Do all the speedings. Looking good. All right, and you're cooking that up for me? Beautiful. So furnace and pulverizer. Great. Nice and fast. All right, and if we need to, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to do an induction smelter. Energetic infuser, I don't think we have anything, actually. You might have a recipe or two, I forget. And you, octadic capacitor, is that the best capacitor? I don't actually even know. It seems to be. But isn't there a better alloy smeltery? Yeah, there's the enhanced alloy smeltery. That requires N steel. Maybe I should look into that. I'm just curious. Like, is this better in some way? I mean, I bet I could make it. Because I'm thinking we just need a couple vibrant alloys, right? Enhanced machine cat chassis. That is what? Is that just normal? Yeah, that's the normal dude, right? Actually, it's an N steel chassis. Okay, cool. Enhanced. So that's not your normal chassis, right? Industrial versus enhanced. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out how enhanced machine chassis work. Let's try this out. Just because I know we're gonna be using, well, I should stick with nuclear craft for a minute. All right, we'll try that out in the future. All right, so casings. We're gonna need 54. Okay, that's the number of casings we're gonna need. Fuel cells. We're going to need 8 fuel cells. That needs tough alloys. Okay, so I need you to know how to make tough alloys, because we don't have any more of those, right? So that is a alloy smeltery. Yep. Okay. Lithium and ferroboron. And I'm assuming I don't know how to make ferroboron, right? I don't. So it's time to teach that one how to make that dude. And that is steel and boron. And steel... do we know how to make steel ingots? Really? We don't? It's funny. So I should probably... So alloy smeltery can do it, but so can induction smelter, right? Basically iron and 4 pulverized. You know how to make pulverized coal, right? Yes. All right, so let's do it that way. Oops. So I'm going to do the induction smelter recipe. Like that. 4 pulverized coal and iron. Okay? Because we just upgraded our induction smelter anyway. Cool. And then you guys are alloy smelteries. So you're going to go here and here. Now, are you octadic this one? You're not, and you should be. I should really go get that bedrockium stuffy, whatchamacallit, dust. Ugh, annoying. But anyway, so that should get your tough alloys going. So now if I want fuel cells, or reactor cells, my bad, times 8, that shouldn't be a problem. Cool. And in the meantime, you're cooking up more tough alloys. Beautiful. Okay. So far, so good. So in addition to that, we need 5 graphite blocks. Shouldn't be too bad. And then we're going to need our coolers, right? So let's get our 6 cryothium coolers set up. Nice. 4 glowstone coolers. And at some point, I'm going to run out of CPUs, I would imagine, right? A magnesium cooler. Good, we have magnesium. Copper, one of those. Helium. I don't think we have liquid helium ready to go yet, but redstone, yes. So let's look at making liquid helium, because that's the only thing we don't really have. So liquid helium bucket from nuclear craft, right? That can do that. So how do we get liquid helium? Supercooler of helium, fluid extractor, centrifuge. Yeah, I don't think we have that thing yet. So we can, liquid helium is a supercooler, and then helium comes from a helium collector. Nice and easy. Sweet. All right. So 40 millibuckets per tick of helium versus 320. So there's a couple, these things just suck helium out of the air, right? Now, the good news is I have a tick accelerator, so that's going to help. But I definitely probably want the compact one, right? So let's look at making the compact helium one. And I mean, we could upgrade this to the top tier, but let's see how lucky we get with regular helium. Zirconium ingots, huh? I don't think we have any of those, do we? We don't. So how do we make those? Should probably be programming this, right? Induction smelter, zirconium dust. Oh, right. You are not an alloy. You come from zirconium dust, which is made in a rock crusher with diorite. That's right. And that makes zirconium dust. So some of the components of nuclear craft come out of this rock crusher dude. Yeah, so if we want to get helium cooling, there's a lot of steps to get to that point. But I think we can pull it off. All right, so in addition to all the things we just taught our AE system how to make, I'm going to make the stuff needed to make a few other machines from nuclear craft, right? So to get this guy going, right, from nuclear craft, we need an electric motor, and I think we needed 2 of these, and we need a chassis, and we need 4 of these. And that should be pretty cool, right? All the crafting's happening. Good job, pulverizers. I'm proud of you guys. You're doing a great job. And you're still making cryothium, which is cool by me. So rock crusher, we've got most of the things we need. So you're making ferroboron alloys. So what are you doing? You're just taking a long time? That's okay. I'm cool with that. And you're a little bit slow. I should really look at speeding him up. He's gonna annoy me that he's still a double layer. And I can't upgrade him because I don't have that dust stuff, which I should really look at getting more of. And hey, while we're at it, can we have another tough alloy? No, not graphite dust. Tough alloy. Thanks. That would be super. We're getting there. I think what we want to do is just speed you up a little bit. I should really go get that upgrade. And I should even consider doing like the better tier of that thing. So a rock crusher, huh? That's what's going to make some of the dust. There's a bunch of dust from nuclear craft. And some of it comes from rock crushing. Let's see. Where's the rock crusher, actually? Let's look at the recipes the rock crusher spits out. You can crush granite to make rhodochrosite, sulfur, and valiumite. You can crush diorite to make fluorite, carbonite, and zirconium. And you can crush andesite to make beryllium, aluminum, and arsenic. And these dusts are used in different things. Some of these I've used before, and some of them I've never used. So I'm thinking the ones I've never used were probably used for making salt reactors or something. All right, so here's what I'm thinking, right? If we got 1, 2, 3 igneous extruders, right? And you were doing granite, diorite, and andesite, right? Because that's what it is. It's granite, diorite, and andesite. That would be cool. So I think that's an approach. I think that's a cool approach. And then we could have a drawer system. Let's get a 4x4 drawer. Does that sound fair? Right? And then you could store all, or a 2x2, right? The ones that have lots of drawers. Cool. Are we like low on wood or something? I guess we are. Hilariously, I have a lot of great wood. I never set up a farm, right? Like it's funny. Like I'm trying to avoid repeated. I literally have no wood. That's hilarious. Like I'm trying to avoid doing things that I've done many times before, and as a result, I'm like forgetting to do certain things that is like pretty standard setups for me, right? Like having a tree farm. That's just a thing that I'm used to having. And like I just haven't set one up yet. Which is kind of funny if you think about it. Hey, I am chopping down a tree here. Thank you. Boop, boop, doop, boop, doop. Excellent. All right, back to making drawers. So a 2x2 drawer system, right? And you get 4 of those per craft, so remember. So I'm thinking, like, maybe we want a couple more rock crushers, right? Let's do that. You know what I'm actually noticing is we're actually getting close to being in trouble with our ME drive over here. I'm thinking I should shuffle this over a little bit, because I'm going to be expanding this drawer system shortly. Maybe we should make another drive. It might not be a bad idea, right? A little quick ME drive. Gonna need 2 of you. And some of you. And like 4K storage disks. How hard would it be to get 10 of you? Not too hard. Sweet. I might move this over a little bit as well. What do we got going on over here? Could I just like shuffle you over? Would that be a terrible thing to do? Like maybe at least over 2. Yeah, I think 2 should be plenty. For now. Cool. Okay. And you're going to be priority 0. That's fine. Because I want to have more I want to put my drawers here, is what I'm thinking. And we could set up this automation thing behind this wall. This wall has slowly but surely become my de facto, this is where things are automated and hidden. Right? So, like, you know, this stuff, but here. That should be cool, right? So what we're going to want is rock crushers. I'm thinking here, right? So boop, boop, boop. And then you can extract on green, always active. Right? So you're going to be extract on green, always active, always active, always active, because that's going to pipe into our drawer system. Cool. And then as we produce the resources here, that's how we're going to get that going. And then in addition to you, right, buddy, we're going to have igneous extruders here, here, and here. And what we'll do is granite, diorite, and andesite, okay? And all you're going to do is export automatically to the bottom, right? So that should be cool, right? And then all we need is a little bit of power going on here. What I'm thinking I might do is, I mean, it's 6 to 1/2 dozen the other. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so now you're ready with power. And I wouldn't mind a couple, I don't know if we need a mega conversion kit, dude. How about just the Electrum tier? Ought to be good. Because what I wouldn't mind, there's an augment for the igneous extruder, which makes it not use water, right? Water is no longer consumed. So if we could get this, I don't have the futz with water being pumped into this thing, and that would be cool. Cryothium dust times 3, right? And then Invar plates. We're gonna want like 6 of them. Do I not have a plate maker yet? Automated? Man, that is a womp womp on my part. Okay. So now my augment for you guys times 3. Boom. And my kits times 3. right? And then these augments just to speed things up a little bit, okay? And then what we're gonna want is a... Actually, do I have a reservoir that's not being used at the moment? Because what I wouldn't mind... Oh, I didn't really want that. I guess. What is it? There you go. That's cool, right? And then for you... Because I don't think these use lava to make, right? They don't. Sweet. So now everything's running down here. How cool is that? Now, the other thing I did is I got some nuclear craft, speed, and energy upgrades. So these things work. Let's do, like, I guess 10 of each. These things work in that the energy upgrades only work if you have the equal or less number of speed upgrades, right? So for each speed upgrade that we throw in here, right? Currently it's using 20 RF a tick, right? I throw a speed upgrade in there, it's up to 80. I throw an energy upgrade in there, it's down to 40, right? So we do something like this, and we're cooking at 220 RF a tick. Ain't too bad. Ain't too bad. So I'm gonna do something similar here and here. Okay, so now we've got the 3 different kinds of dusts that we're producing, right? So that's spiffy. So let's get you, you, and you. You, and you. And you, and you. And we're gonna make you guys all available out here, right? So you're gonna be this, this, and this. Come on, buddy. I'm trying to keep this organized here. This, this, and this. And then this, this, and that. All right, now if we pay attention, these guys should be getting extracted. How cool is that? Nice. Super automated production of that stuff. Now what's going to eventually happen, right, is these things will back stuff, which will stop these from running, which will stop these from running, which will be cool. Now, the downside will probably be if we're using a lot of one, we're going to wind up using, like, if we're using a bunch of sulfur, let's say, right, and we're not using any rhodochrosite, eventually we're going to run out of sulfur, and we can't make more because we're backstuffed on rhodochrosite, which kind of stinks. These guys have some kind of redstone control, side configuration thing, output slot configuration, slot setting default, void excess, void all, default. Right. So we can, if we run into that situation, void a specific slot. So it'll only back stuff on one slot. That would be kind of cool to set up. We'll play with that a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Right? For now, I think that's pretty good, though, right? And then you guys can go in my backpack, and I've got a little lava laying around for fun and profit in the future. So I think that's a pretty good wrapping up point for the episode. So we've started the foundation of what we need to create to get nuclear craft stuff going, right? And we're going to do more in the very near and immediate future. So next episode, we'll come back, and we should have enough zirconium to start making helium producers, right? And that should be cool. Helium collector needs a thorium block. Oh, today I learned. I didn't realize that. We have thorium, don't we? We do have some thorium ore. Okay, cool. Well, that's good. Now, a thorium block 230 comes from thorium 230, which comes from what? I'm looking at you, thorium blocks. Thorium might be a little bit trickier than I thought, because I might need tiny clumps of thorium. Where exactly do I get 230 from? Actually, that was oxide, isn't it? No. Nope, nope, nope. Thorium 230. I'm sure it comes from somewhere. Uranium-238. All right, that's a thing. Yeah, 230 is the smaller one you get. So basically we have to get thorium ingots from the thorium ore that we've collected thus far, and then run it through an isotope separator, and that gets us tiny clumps of 230, which combine into larger clumps, which combine into blocks. So we need a lot of thorium. The other alternative to that would be we can also get it in a decay hastener from uranium-238, which comes from where? Is that 238? There's a lot of different types here. I think 238 is also the tiny version of uranium, which is the rarer one, unfortunately. Actually, now I'm still struggling to find where 238 comes from. I don't know. 235, 238. Actually, yeah, no, 238, yeah. Where's the doohickey? There he is, isotope separator. That's it, that's what I was looking for. All right, so 238, that's a way to get thorium. Maybe, we'll figure it out. For now, let's wrap up the episode, and I'll come back next time and figure out where we're going to get enough thorium for our helium collectors, because I'd love to get this one, if I can, but that's a lot of thorium. It's 8 blocks of thorium is what we're going to ultimately need. But 40 millibuckets per tick shouldn't be too bad. All right, for now, Del20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time. We'll continue our efforts to build the things we need to get a nuclear reactor going, and then we will build a nuclear reactor, and then we'll fuel it and hope it don't blow up. All right, for now, Del20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.